All right, good evening. I was going to say good afternoon. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, Brother Palm, I hear you back there. So we want to thank everybody for coming to our Smile Community Action Agency parent community meeting to talk about where we are with Head Start and where do we go from here. And I was told last night Tuesday night we was in New Iberia, and last night we was in St. Martin Parish, and tonight we're here in Lafayette. And so what this is designed to do is provide the community with accurate information regarding Head Start and early Head Start in Lafayette, St. Martin, and Iberia parishes. And so we want to go through this agenda and then have an opportunity to answer any questions you may have of me or the Head Start staff. But before we get started, if we can have a volunteer to lead us in meditation, we will start off with meditation, prayer, to start off our meeting this evening.
Let's everyone stand, please. Everyone stand. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Gregory.
We come this evening for a very special reason, and we're asking God for visions on us. So, dear God, we come today. We thank you for this day. We thank you, dear God, for Jesus who died for our sins out on Calvary. And we thank you for this moment of grace. We thank you, dear God, that we have assembled in this place. And as we come to discuss important issues, we pray, dear God, that you will be in our midst, that we be led by your Spirit. Continue to nurture us and lead us in the path of righteousness. And may we be a people that you have called us to be. May we be more about loving each other and caring about each other than, dear God, doing things to hurt each other. Continue to bless my Community Action Agency, the Head Start program, and all of the programs that we administer to those who are in need. And dear God, we ask that you bless the staff and all that make up Smile Community Action Agency. Then we ask you to bless this community at large. Continue to keep your loving arms around us and protect us from all hurt, harm, and danger. Realize, dear God, that life presents a lot of issues and problems that we have to wrestle with. But we wrestle not with these problems because they are the darkness problems. But we wrestle with flesh and blood. And dear God, we thank you for your Spirit, that it moves us from that element. And that it moves us and points us into a direction of love, peace. And in that process, we incur prosperity, and we incur all those things that you have set for us to do. But realize, dear God, each and every one of us have a purpose. So may we live out that purpose. Again, dear God, bless our efforts this evening, and bless Dr. William as he makes his presentation, and Head Start staff, his COGS, and all that make up this, the board of directors and all. These things we ask in Jesus' name as we pray today. Amen and amen.
Amen. Thank you, Brother Gregory. We want to again welcome everybody and thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be here this evening. We're going to try to wrap this up in an hour so that we can be very succinct and precise, but we're going to be here as long as it takes to make sure that we are clear and that all questions are answered. At this time, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance, and we have some red, white, and blue right here, so we're going to turn this way. And would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. If you have not received the program, please raise your hand. I think I saw some of the small staff around. If you would raise your hand, and we will get a program to you, because we want everybody to be able to follow along. Anybody else? So, one of the things the board does at each one of its meetings is read the promise of community action. And we would ask you to join us as we read the promise of community action. Everybody read together, please. Community action changes people's lives, provides a spirit of hope, improves communities, and makes America a better place to live. We care about the entire community, and we are dedicated to helping people help themselves and each other. And then we have the Smile Community Action Agency mission statement. We could also read that in unison. It reads as follows. Smile Community Action Agency serves as a clearing house for community needs with a focus on health, education, economic stability, and the betterment of all disadvantaged individuals, children, and families that count. So we wanted to do that to make sure that we set the premise for how it is that we are, as a agency, Smile Community Action Agency, and as our promise, and what is our promise to the community. I want to thank all of you for coming, the parents, the Smile Community Action staff, elected officials, and our board of directors. At this time, I would like to recognize our board of directors. We have with us from St. Martin Parish, Mr. Zach Landry, if you can stand up, Mr. Richard Portier. From Lafayette Parish, Ms. Janice Dixon, and Mr. Fadal Viat. Let's give them a big hand. Would any of the board members like to make any comments from the board? Any board comments at this time? No. We also have, I know I see two elected officials here. We want to thank Councilman Pat Lewis for coming. He's in the back. Thank you, Councilman Lewis. And also we have Representative Vincent Pierre with us, a big supporter. Both of them. Mr. Lewis is working with us on some building issues, and Mr. Pierre, a big supporter of Smile Community Action Agency. Any other elected officials that I did not recognize? So let me start off by talking a little bit about the reason that we're here. And that is 1,492. That's the number of students that we have in Head Start and Early Head Start. Those are the people that we're talking about. And a lot of times, as it was mentioned yesterday by someone, you know, that gets lost in the shuffle. Because people talk about personalities, they talk about Chris Williams, they talk about the board, they talk about Ms. Cobb, they talk about a whole lot of issues. But what is imparted here are the beautiful children that Smile Community Action serves day to day in providing love, training, education, an early head start. And of course, statistics tells us that if we can get our young people to have an early start from an educational standpoint, that will better their chances to have a successful life. That will better their chances to have income throughout their life, because they will have the competencies in order to succeed. And so I come to you tonight knowing that that is the foundation of our comments. I could come and say, as we have many beautiful staff here tonight and has been at our meetings over the last 2 nights, over 350 people that teach, love on children, and encompasses the very embodiment of what early Head Start and Head Start is. And we are so proud of the work that our staff has done over the years, decades, to provide this service throughout Southwest Louisiana, and to the children and to the families. Because this is an holistic approach, right? It's with the children, it's with the moms, it's with the dads, it's with the grandparents, it's with the guardians. And so we are very, very excited about starting classes on August the 14th of this year and having our parent meetings in the couple of weeks to come and to beginning that school year. Last week, or actually on July the 13th, I was at a meeting with an educational entity here in Southwest Louisiana talking about the great work that we have done and that the staff have done over the years with Head Start and Early Head Start. Talking about collaborative efforts that dealt with facilities, training, professional development, expansion opportunities, and so forth. Got an urgent call to come back to the office. I told him I was in an urgent meeting. What could be so urgent that I needed to return back so quickly? It was Ms. Cobb and I in the meeting. I said, Dr. Williams, you have to come right away. It's a very important communication. Communication that came from the Head Start Dallas office via Washington, D.C., receiving a notice of termination of our grant as a Head Start and Early Head Start provider. Needless to say, this definitely floored me, Ms. Cobb, the staff, the administration of our agency, parents, as we've heard the last 2 nights in St. Martin and Iberia parishes, our board, because we had no idea that a communication like this would be coming. Over the last 2 years, we know that we have had staff and community people send letters to Washington, D.C., to Dallas, to the governor's office, to whoever would listen, basically making a lot of claims as it relates to Head Start and Early Head Start. I want to go back just a little bit to talk about how we got this letter of termination. We got it for 3 particular reasons. I won't get into necessarily any personnel issues tonight or any legal issues, but what I will do is explain to you as clearly as I can, and I do have copies of the letter here for those of you that may not have seen it, about why it is that we received these letters and the 3 deficiencies that the federal government is saying we did not meet. Let me be very clear that the board and the staff of Smile Community Action Agency would encourage us to ensure that every child has a safe learning environment. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. Every child deserves a safe learning environment. The second thing is governance. And those were the 2 things that we were hit on as not being corrected. And so I want to go over just for a few minutes what it is that we were tagged for and what that we did give a response, and then we got the letter that I talked about on July the 13th. So over the last 2 years, there have been individuals within our community, within our Smile Head Start and Early Head Start family that may have had issues with things that have happened. And those anonymous letters and those complaints went to Washington, to Dallas, to the governor's office, whoever would listen. I started at Smile Community Action Agency, although I grew up only 8 blocks away from the office, in January. And one of the things that happened to me, I guess within the first 10 days or so, was that we got a visit from the team from Dallas, Texas, that was just on a fact-finding mission. They said it wasn't an inquiry, but just came in to ask some questions. And I took it as that. A few weeks later, we received a letter from the Dallas office indicating that we had these 3 deficiencies. Ms. Cobb and her staff and the Head Start staff compiled a response to those 3 deficiencies, one being governance. One of the things that we hit on, the first one is governance, that we as a staff was not notifying our board of directors fast enough about incidents that was happening. That's the basic parameters of the first deficiency. The next two deficiencies deal with what is called safe learning environments, i.e. child abuse allegations. And without getting into too much detail, one deals with the bathroom incident that happened with a student that was not physical in nature, but was dealing with cleaning up an incident that had happened. And then the second issue on that particular deficiency dealt with the teacher removing an object from a child at one of our centers. The third incident involved an alleged scratching and pinching of a child. Two safe learning environment infractions, one governance infraction. Those are the three issues. Governance, not letting the board know fast enough about incidents. Safe learning environment regarding a bathroom incident and a child with a toy and how that child was handled, and an alleged pinching and scratch incident. We responded. The team got together, said these are the things that we're going to do, these are the things that we've done. They entailed extensive training with the board, with policies and procedures put in place to notify the board expeditiously about things that happens, particularly as it relates to Head Start and early Head Start, and put an item on every agenda to where not only that they would know what was happening, but that we would have a health and safety report on every agenda from this point forward. It didn't stop there. They came in for training, with a trainer from out of this area that came in that was highly recommended. They also conducted their own training on Saturdays to ensure that they was up to date on everything regarding Head Start and early Head Start and what was their responsibility. On the safe learning environment, the safe learning environments infraction, the two that we received, we immediately instituted a plan that involved retraining and additional training of what it is that we know 99% of our staff do every day, and that is teach and love children. Because we know in South Louisiana, if that wasn't the case, we would hear the rumblings around and it wouldn't be a secret, right? So we know that we had to do it, so we did additional training. We have documentation of the additional training that was done. We put into place reporting parameters throughout our 16 centers to ensure that everyone understood the importance of reporting in a timely manner, and making sure that we got the reports to the appropriate local, state, and federal authorities. That training was done, it was documented, and that was submitted. So we were floored on July the 13th when we received this communication that we did not comply with any corrective actions. And so upon receipt of that termination letter, there are those in the community that ran rampant with it, right? That would make people think that all of the great work that SMILE does and continues to do to this day hasn't been what we said it is. And that's just not the truth. Because the truth of the matter is that SMILE Community Action Agency Head Start and Early Head Start program is one of the best in the country. And there is no doubt that at the end of the day, we will be able to prove that. What we can't control is what one reporter may write in the local newspaper. What we can't control is what somebody may put on some social media site, because he or she may have certain issues with the agency or with the personal individual. What we will do is we will represent the 1,492 children that attends our centers every day. And so on the 13th, we received the letter, and we want everybody to know that Chris Williams or Ms. Cobb or none of the board members, we didn't take this $11.5 million. This is nothing to do about money. There is no fiscal infractions here. So the three issues that we have is non-fiscal. It doesn't deal with money at all. It deals with safe learning environments and a government issue. We want you to know that we've taken corrective actions that we believe would prevail on our appeal. And we want you to know that we would not do anything to endanger the beautiful children that are entrusted to our care every day. Now, will that stop a reporter from slanting everything that we're doing? Absolutely not. Will that stop certain people in this community who have a distorted view of reality and what small community action is, and have such a distorted way of thinking that they would do this? Of course it won't. But I believe with prayer and with facts, we will prevail. And so we wanted to come, and a lot of people said, well, why do you want to do this? Because at some point, you have to get out there and you have to talk about the truth. At some point, you have to face the music. At some point, you have to stand up and let the people know, no, this is not the facts. These are not the facts. These are the facts. This is what we did. This is where we are, and this is what we're going to do. And so our response is that we're proud of our program. We're proud of our employees. We love our children. We will do whatever is necessary to be the service provider for Head Start, early Head Start in Southwest Louisiana. We are a good custodian of Head Start and early Head Start funds, that the longevity of the staff that is here has served 10, 20, 30 years. We have multi-generational students who have been through the Head Start and early Head Start program, and we're not going to allow the infractions, the alleged infractions that took place to be a part of our legacy. We're going to go out there and tell the truth. What we will not allow are those people that will continuously put out fictitious information to prevail, because we can't. We can't for the sake of the staff that has given their careers and their lives to this program, and we definitely can't for the beautiful children that comes to our centers every day. So on last Monday, our board voted unanimously to hire a firm out of Washington, D.C. to represent our agency and put our arguments forth so that we could not only come to you to say, we don't believe that the three things that I identified earlier met the threshold to remove funding for such an august operation. What we are saying is that we not only don't agree with it, but we're going to look at whatever opportunities we have to appeal this decision and to move forward with our training and loving on children. So the rumor and the misreporting that small Head Start and early Head Start has lost funding isn't accurate, right? That's not a fact. We are still operating, and we are still in the process of ensuring that on August the 14th, our children are in classrooms and are receiving the learning and the educational opportunities that are afforded to them by Head Start and early Head Start. By the actions of the board and subsequent communications with the attorneys, we will be submitting an appeal to the federal government. And what we ask for simply is a fair hearing. We ask for a fair review of the information. We ask that we not be judged on the actions of 2 or 3 employees, but that we be judged on our class scores. We be judged on the testimony of our parents and our grandparents. We be judged on the testimony of our community leaders. That we be judged on the facts of what actually is, and not the gossip and innuendo that people want to put out there in the public. And so we are an open book. We have nothing to hide. We are assured that at the very least, our story will be told. And if anyone has questions or need information, we will give you information on how to contact us. I want to tell you, though, that it's going to be an uphill battle, because an appeal is a very difficult thing, one, to construct, and two, to ensure that we prevail. So on the 3 infractions that I mentioned, we have to show the federal government that we have extraordinary information and proof that what was found in the document, in the summary of findings, we have evidence that will not only question that, but will show that we did exactly the opposite. And that's what we're going to package, and that's what we're going to send on. What we want to ensure, everybody, is that we're going to do it professionally, but what we won't allow to happen are those people that have made it their job to say disparaging things and to speak known untruths about people and about programs that they not prevail. And so our response will be strong. It will be based upon the truth, and it will hopefully result in the next 3 to 6 months to a year of a finding that Smile Head Start continues to be the provider of Head Start services and early Head Start services in Southwest Louisiana. Now, let me be very frank with you. Head Start and early Head Start isn't going away, regardless of who the service provider is. It is a national program. It is evidence-based that it makes a difference in children's lives who may not otherwise have the opportunity to have an early Head Start educationally. And so we wanted to be with the parents to let you know that your babies are going to be taken care of. What we're fighting for is to ensure that Smile Community Action Agency is the provider of those services. And so I can only imagine what it is like for the parents of our babies and your children, what it is like for employees who are not sure and hearing all this, what they may be thinking. And that's why we wanted to have these sessions, to offer clarity, to let the employees know that we're going to continue to operate and continue to discuss and continue to plan for August the 14th. We're going to appeal. We have the support of our board, and we're going to ask that as we continue this process, that you sign in tonight. We're going to have a communication mechanism. The 40 to 50 people I approximate that are in here tonight, we have approximately 300 parents that have attended these meetings over the last 3 nights. I have about 40 something that have contacted me personally, who I have contact information on, and we're going to be communicating with the parents. There are certain parents that have started several initiatives on their own, and every parent has a prerogative to do that. We're going to concentrate on the appeal and putting our story forward. So I want to close with this. Before I say that, yesterday, let me just tell you how this and children get lost in this discussion. Yesterday we had a discussion with our state stakeholders about what are some of our other operational areas. And we were assured that not only were we following all of the guidelines, but a recent review of our operations revealed that there was absolutely no wrongdoing in the agency. And we are following all of the guidelines. And when we do have issues, they are corrected immediately and without any discussion or any hint of any type of compromising of doing what is right. And so whether it's me who needs to be corrected on an issue or an employee who needs to be corrected on an issue, we'll make whatever corrections to ensure that one is done right? So I want to say that. So in closing, I want to say that we're here. We are open. We're prayerful. We're going to be strong. We believe the truth will prevail for the 1,492 students, for the parents, for the employees, for the historic nature of Smile Community Action Agency, who will be celebrating 50 years next year, and that we are available to answer any questions you may have. So without going on too much longer, I want to thank all of you for coming. I want to ask you a question. How many of you heard about this meeting because you got the letter about your child coming to the deal? So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 10 of you guys. So we tried to communicate this on radio stations, through the letters that the Head Start office sent out, through social media. I've gotten a lot of calls of people who have contacted me personally, and hopefully we will create a thread to keep you informed throughout this process. The only way we can do that is if you sign in today, and we have some way to communicate with you, and that's the reason we ask for your name and phone number. Ms. Vernon has the sheet right there. So if you haven't signed in, we ask that you sign in. Okay, I'm going to stop for a minute and do a couple of courtesies. I'm going to ask at this time, Mr. Berger, if any of our board members would like to make any comments at this time. Any board members? Mr. Landry?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
You need the mic, Mr. Zachary.
My name is Zachary Landry. I represent St. Martin Parish. And I just want to share something with you. But first of all, I want to compliment all of you who are here today. This is so important, you know, because you hear different types of stories, but you're hearing the right story. So you can take this back into your community, because you're going to hear a lot of negativity. But let me explain to you something. A friend of mine from Plaquemine Parish heard about this. Oh, it didn't spread all through Louisiana. You know, the rumor going around that staff would watch the kids fight with one another. You know, I'm saying, hey, hold up. Yes, that's the rumor that's going around. But I set her straight, so I said, when you go back, the same ones who mention that to you, make sure you share the right side of the story. But what I also want to say is Smile is a very good agency, and the type of service that they provide for the community, you know, you can't imagine how many people that they service, you know. And the board members are strictly behind Dr. Williams, Ms. Mary Cobb, the staff. You know, we're going to keep you in our prayers, because this is what it's going to take, you know. And I think if we all come together as one, we can overcome this.
Thank you, Mr. Zach. Any other board member? Mr. Fernando?
Good evening. My name is Fernando, and you can hear me. My sound is different. My first language is Spanish. Probably someone asking, why you're here? I wanted to share some idea, because I'm coming from different country, really poor country. I don't know if you know Cuba, it's the islands of the Caribbean. What we believe is in this world, education. What is matter here is not about the agency, it's not about you as a partner, it's about the future. And the future are our kids. This is why we are here. This program is so important for the community, because education is the only way to be out of the poverty. Education is how you grow inside. It's not about money, it's about how you grow as a person, as a human being. And this is why we are fighting for this agency to continue to provide the services that you deserve as a family, but more than that, our children deserve it, because education is the future and nobody can stop. We have to fight, and we need you. You have to speak up, you have to come behind together with us and fight for Smile to continue to provide the services that you deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fernando. Any other board member? Representative Pierre, Councilman Lewis, any comments? Y'all okay? Representative Pierre?
Good evening. I want to thank you, Chris, for reaching out to the folks that get all this misinformation that's going on around here. One of the things that you didn't hear was that the state of Louisiana did their investigation and found anything, nothing, no findings. But you didn't see the press cover that. That was not covered. Now the press has some issues with some of the infractions, and that's exactly what they are, infractions. Smile has been around for quite some time, probably during the Father McKnight days, Chris. Those are the times that I remember. But I can tell you that this group has worked diligently to care for the children, and I commend you for continuing to bring up children. We are in the business of caring for kids in this district and throughout this Acadian area, educating, empowering, and changing lives. I can remember when Smile had a difficult time getting transportation. Now there's transportation for children. Smile has worked diligently, and I commend you for what you're doing. We will overcome this initiative, and I can tell you my office is in full support of the initiative that you're trying to do for this organization. And again, Chris, keep doing what you're doing, and we're going to prevail from this issue.
Thank you so much, Representative Pierre. Thank you so much. Councilman Lewis. Councilman Lewis has a comment. The mic.
Good evening, everyone. I just happened to hear about this thing last week, and I commend Dr. Chris Williams what he's doing. I commend you guys for showing up to support him. Without the support that we give it to Smile, it won't happen. We have to remember it's for our kids, not only your kids, but the kids that will be following for the next future. Remember that it's for the kids. It's for us, because what's going to happen, we're going to look forward to them to lead us, to help us, because we will need help. So we need someone with education, with the courage and the strength. And we need to be behind Smile and Dr. Williams and whoever, the board members. And for you, let's forget about this negativity that we are hearing on television, because that's all we hear. Like someone said earlier, that when his friends in Packman Parish, what they are saying. I was with the school system for many years, and I heard a lot of negative things that kids were bringing to their parents, and the next thing you know, what happened? It runs like a fire. So we need to remember that what we are hearing all the time is not the truth. Like Representative Pierre said, where are the media when things aren't happening good? We don't hear. Where are the media now that we're trying to get together right now? Where are they? They're not around. But as soon as you hear bad things, it's like a fire. Let's keep the faith. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilman Lewis. Thank you so much. Let me make 2 quick points, and then we go to question and answers. The first thing is that I want to be very clear, is that we concur with the federal government that every child deserves a safe learning environment. Every child deserves a safe learning environment. There's no doubt about it. We also concur that the board should know information in real time. We concur with that. What we have a problem with is that the information that we provided, we believe will show without a question that we did and took the necessary steps to correct these findings. Not only did we take the necessary steps, we have the documentation to prove it, and we're asking for a fair hearing. And so we wanted you to know all of that information tonight. We want to thank our board and our elected officials. And we're getting people like local parish presidents, the United Way of New Iberia. We have our policy council members who will soon begin to do programs. We did not, let me just be clear, then we'll go to question and answers. We did not want, when we got this letter on July the 13th, it was a shocking moment. And so we had to begin to get our information in order, began to inform the board immediately. They took action in the executive committee, and it was ratified this past Monday in New Iberia unanimously that we're going to fight this vigorously. We're not fighting it for Chris Williams, we're not fighting it for the board, we're not fighting it for Ms. Carr, we're fighting for those babies. We're fighting for those children because we believe that we are the best service provider for these children. I've worked around a lot of staffs. We may have an issue as a staff, but I've visited these centers. Our staff love these children. It's not just a job to them. They're not there for the pay. I've seen their pay. They're not there for the pay. They're there because they love these children. They see the bright eyes in the morning. They see the love when they have to leave at the end of the day. They do it because there's a genuine care for the babies that are entrusted to us. And so we take that to the federal government and say that we're not contesting what it is that you wrote. What we're contesting is that we took the necessary corrective actions. What we're contesting is that you wrote down some things and you could not have looked at what we submitted because what we submitted said that we addressed these things. I'm going to stop. Questions, clarifications, comments from anybody in the audience?
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Eric Crawford, and I just wanted to echo the commendments. You know, those that are saying that they commend Smile and the agency for what they're doing today. I'm the parent and my wife. We're parents of 5 children, 4 of which are 2 sets of twins, and they all started into the Smile Head Start program at the Alexander Center. And, you know, my son, before going into Smile, he was very closed. You know, he wasn't very talkative or anything of that nature. And me and my wife, we could always see something was going on in his head, but he would never really verbalize it, if you will. And after a year of being in the Head Start program with the staff at Alexander Head Start, you know, he began to read at such a level that he began to start teaching his twin sister how to read as well. And the professionalism of the staff for Smile, the expertise, the knowledge that you all have is invaluable, you know, for our community and for the parents that your agency serves. So I really commend what you're doing. I pray that this issue is resolved because the service that you provide for the community is truly invaluable. And I just wanted to say that and thank you for what you're doing, because you could have chose the option to just battle the media through emails and, you know, articles in the newspaper and things of that nature. But what you chose to do was come to the community and inform us as to what's going on.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments, clarifications that are needed? Now's the time, y'all.
Good evening. And I just want to say I thank you all that people showed up, because this is a very important decision and outlaying of what Smile really is that is happening. Now, I'm an old student of Smile. My children were in Head Start at Smile. That's some 41 years ago, y'all, so I'm old. And, but I want to tell you that Smile has done so much for the community. Many of the students who are where they are today would not have had the opportunity had it not been for Smile. And true enough, let's be real, in every area of workplace, there are problems. In every area of our lives, we have problems. This is the key, y'all. The key is to address the issue, see what we can do to make it better or for improvements, but also to take our fall. And when we take our fall, we don't have to stay down. We learn to get back up. And we learn that because we communicate that with the public. Because it's not just about the employees who work at Smile. It's not just about the directors who have passed through Smile. It is really about the people who have laid the groundwork for us to be where we are today. And so, I just want to say, I've worked at Smile for many, many years. I'm no longer there. I retired about 12 years ago. But guess what? I worked with some champions. I worked with some foot soldiers. I worked with some people who said, you know what? We're not letting our children fall by the wayside. And just by your very presence, it tells me that you are not willing to let your children, or even your grandchildren, fall by the wayside. So we will be supportive. We will not discount what others have complained about. We will take that into consideration, and we will weigh those measures. And we will say, how can we do better? What is it that we need to improve on? If we need training, I'm a big believer in training, guys. Listen, you know why? Because what you learned to do 10 years ago, it may not be relevant today, okay? So this is the step I believe we need to take moving forward. And so I continuously lift up Smile in prayer. I continuously ask that you all be supportive, because Smile is a good program and communities like ours need it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Questions, comments, clarifications?
Good evening. I'm Khadijah, and I would like to say that my oldest son is 42 years of age, and he got his first lesson through Smile. I've been to Smile from January, New Iberia, and now Lafayette with my granddaughter. And the love that the staff have, the curriculum is so superb that my grandbaby was bragging about her poster that she came out third place with, and just love the work that her teacher, you know, everything was my teacher this, my teacher that, and she kept us on P's and Q's. And what I wanted to say is that it helped me to become a better person, because the first board that I was ever on was on Smile. You know, not only did they teach us how to be better parents, with my first child, but they sent us on trips to bring back information back to your community. So all I could say is, when I'm in a community, doing anything that I'm doing, if I hear one negativity about Smile, I check it quick, because I need them to know that we are a strong product. And she's kind of weary right now, but her graduation picture, we had to get some more money, because she wanted every family member, almost 50 people, to have one of her pictures. So I want to thank, and look, the teacher back there, I want to thank y'all so much. And I'm a great-great-grandparent of a Smile legacy. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Mr. Ford?
Good evening, everyone. You know, I'm sitting here, and I'm so disturbed, because I've been in the healthcare industry for 12 years, and I went through a trying time back in 2010 when the state and federal government came into my business and made accusations against my organization. And at the time, I was president of the State Association of Adult Day Healthcare Providers. We had just put into those programs $368 million. And the majority of the providers in those programs were African-American owned businesses.
All right.
When Bobby Jindal became the governor of the state of Louisiana, that was an all-out thrust to take those proceeds that was dedicated to those programs away from individuals that was providing and advocating for our seniors. When you talk about abuse, let's look at the real abuse of a waiting list with 30,000 people, with people dying on it. That's abuse. Let's look at some of the other institutions that on record have lost lives, abused, and they still are operating their businesses and their programs. 50 years of service, 3 acquisitions, And you telling me that you're going to take the funding away from an organization that has proven themselves for 50 years as being a violent source of community? It's absurd. I also would like to say, any agency across the state that's receiving these type of funds should be here supporting this agency across this state. Because if it can happen to this agency, you know that it will happen to those other agencies also. And they need to understand that once they start destroying us, they just keep on going, and all of a sudden, the other side of the track is now managing those resources, and they're the ones that's teaching our kids, and who are better to teach our kids than ourselves. Who are going to be more compassionate, more loving than us with our own children? And that's all I have to say. And I support this effort. I don't usually come out this way, but I had to tonight, not only for the children, but as a businessman and an advocate in my community, I have to be here. And those individuals that's not here tonight, they need to understand the importance of supporting this agency. Y'all have my support. If anything I can do is the way to come here.
Thank you, Mr. Ford.
Good evening. I like what everybody's saying. I like how Chris is taking Smile Community Action Agent to the next level. But right now, we getting ready to have problems for us as black people. Seems like the government is trying to take anybody down that's black and in power. We getting ready to go back to neighborhood school. Neighborhood school is segregated school. We better make sure that we on top of our kids right now. Like Mr. Ford said, who could educate our kids better than us? Nobody know our kids like us. And if we don't stand with Smile as a community, go back home, tell a friend, tell a friend, to tell a friend. And let's make sure that we keep a program that's been in our community, what, just about 40 years? 50 years, okay? And I look at it like this here. You know, it's just us in here, but Smile serves the white community or the Caucasian community too. Thank you.
All right. Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Dallas. Any other questions, comments, or clarifications? Ms. Dixon has a comment.
Good afternoon. My name is Janice Dixon, and I'd like to welcome all of the parents. And as Dr. Williams stated, we are here for the children. It's all about the children. We have to educate our children to get it to the next level. We are getting older, and so we have to prepare our children. But at the same time, I would like to thank all of you for coming. But we still need your help. We need you to get to social media. For those parents who did not come here, I would like for you to get on social media and pass the good words, the good facts, not the alternative facts like some of us like to do. So please, go home and pass the word. If you're not sure of your facts, please call the Smile Agency. Someone will help you. We'll write it down for you. The board members will be glad to extend their help. Let's get it straight. Let's get the facts out there the correct way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Dixon. Any other comments or questions? So we want to thank you. Yes. We're going to use the mic.
I think everybody probably.
No, we're recording it so that we can replay it. So if we can use the mic, please. Thank you.
Good evening. I am not only a parent, not of small kids, but of some older kids. But I am also a community partner for Smile, Head Start, and Early Head Start. And as some of the staff are here, they know I will always be to the office. I am helping out a bunch of our kids and a bunch of our parents for quite a few years. And let me just say this, just like your phone rang and probably other phones ring, my phone rang. I got business. I'm right down the street. I've always said if anybody ever needed help, please call me. Ms. Ruth, Ms. Cobb, I've already extended that. Dr. Williams, it still stands the same way. My parents were worried. I work with children with special needs, but I help parents in each and every department that they have over there at SMILE Community Action Agency. And my reason for being here is to go back and to assure my parents that could not come here tonight to let them know that Head Start will still be up and running because they have a lot of them that could not get here to this meeting. Yes. So that's my reason for being here tonight. And to let Ms. Cobb and her staff know, I have not heard nothing but good things from the Head Start and early Head Start parents that y'all are working with the kids very, very well, especially the kids with special needs. Tremendous things. So staff, Ms. Cobb, Ms. Ruth, all of y'all, please continue the good work, and I am here. I am only a phone call away. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Let me just, we're going to have Ms. Cobb come up and give you some further instructions. Oh, yes.
If I could just say one thing, because I wouldn't be able to leave without making this point, if you don't mind. Listen, guys, in this place right now, the few of us who are here, there are not only African American people here. There are Mexican and Caucasian people. This is my point. If I went to a place and I looked and saw very few of my kind in there, I would feel just a bit offended. This is not what we want to label SMILE with. What we want to label SMILE with is the love of God, number one, but to respect and honor each and every person that has the courage to attend this meeting. And if I'm not aligned, then I certainly ask you to forgive me. But I will not apologize because I want to treat people well. I love people. When I tell you that, I don't say it for a cliche. I tell you that because every person should be treated with dignity, honor, and respect. And they're not just like American kids in Head Start. That's not the makeup of Head Start. The makeup of Head Start is to nurture and nourish and to give the kind of educational enhancement it needs for all children. I rest my case.
Thank you so much. I want you to know that we have met, Ms. Cobb, correct me if I'm wrong, this class requirements, which is the measuring tool for Head Start and early Head Start, that will come into play next year. We have already exceeded those requirements. Our staff is qualified. We meet the national standards in terms of the training that our staff have received. We've followed all the rules. We've taken action when we've needed to take action, and the board has concurred with the actions that have been recommended in terms of personnel. We've done it right. Like Mr. Ford said, we can't decide when they're going to come after us. But what we can do is fight vigorously. And we will fight. We're going to fight for our babies, black, white, Hispanic, Latino, boy, girl, city, country, all of them. Because when they're playing with each other in their yard or when they're learning in the classroom, they're loving up on each other. They don't see all the stuff we see. They're not corrupt. They just want to learn. You can see it in their eyes. They just want to take as much of it in as they can. And so we want to thank the board. We want to thank the elected officials. We want to thank the parents who have come out tonight. We want to thank our employees and our staff who's here. I was remiss, I see we have a former board member, Attorney Glenn Lazard in the audience, all of our former board members who are also here. Mr. Kendall Wills is here. Any other former board members? So what we want to do is ensure that regardless of our differences, that these babies not have the best opportunity that they have to succeed. And we're going to do everything in our power in the days and the weeks and the months ahead to assure you that we're going to fight hard. We want to thank you for coming. We want to thank the Southern View magazine, who will put this on social media and have it available for viewing. And at this time, we're going to have our Head Start director to come up to let you know about class starting on August the 14th. We're about to have a bunch of parent meetings, and then she also has some other information she would like to share with you. Miss Mary Russell Cobb.
You got it right tonight. I'd like to thank all of you for coming this evening. We thank you because we feel your prayers, we feel your support, and we believe with all of our hearts, souls, and minds that we're going to get through this. And we just want to let you know that school will be starting. We're preparing rather for school to start on August the 14th. We have our parent meetings that are scheduled on August 11th and 12th at each of our schools in our tri-parish area. We're going to be here, staff and myself, we're going to be here for some questions, to answer some questions that you may have concerning school. Now, we probably will not be able to answer questions pertaining to the appeal process, but we're here to answer questions that you may have that you may not have wanted to ask in the general public. So we'll be up front here to address you. And again, thank you for coming. God bless you, and have a great evening.
So those of you that have questions, come up. Ms. Cobb and her staff will be here. Let me just say this in 30 seconds in closing. I just did the numbers. We've had about 278 parents to attend the 3 days that we were in Iberia, St. Martin, and Lafayette. We're going to reach out to all other parents. Please sign in. Ms. Vernon has the sign-in sheets. That's the way we're going to keep up with you. And I'm going to close with this. This was an open meeting. It wasn't scripted. We just listened. And I will tell you, to a city, we heard the same testimony from our parents and our employees. Iberia, St. Martin, and now Lafayette. We want to thank you, thank you, thank you. May God continue to bless and keep you.